One.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to Overdose 14 with Keemstar and ONLYUSEmeBLADE.
What's up?
What's up? What's up? Jim, you want to do intros, man?
Yeah, I suppose. Why not? I had about 4 seconds to prepare. So, like Surf said, thanks everybody for joining us and tuning in. To the millions across that'll see this tonight and in the weeks and months to come, hopefully. Thanks to our special guests, Keemstar and ONLYUSEmeBLADE, for coming on the show, of course. Start with me, I guess, as usual. Jim from Jim's Nerd Nation. The man in the middle would be Sean Shank, the Sean Shank Redemption, the man who hates everyone. And then we have our gracious host, Surf Dub of Surf Dub Entertainment. Last but not least, we have Tim Maloney, the Yellow Bus.
So what's up?
And I guess that's it, man. We got a great show for everybody tonight. So thanks for tuning in.
So first of all, I just wanted to point out Blade's pink headphones. Is that what you guys want to talk about?
They're
sexy as
he's like,
shit.
you want to be on the podcast? I'm like, sure. And then he's like, you need some headphones. I'm like, I don't have any headphones. So he brings me this. You don't have the little earbuds that come. You have like 17 different iPods and iPads. You don't have those little earbuds?
I have 3 people in my house. Me, my girlfriend, and my daughter. We all have really nice headphones.
And everybody.
But if you were to come to my house, I wouldn't be like, "Where's your headphones, bro? What's up?" You know what I mean?
It's funny because as soon as Blade put those on and I saw the look on his face, it made me think of a commentary. There was a commentary that Blade did when you were like, "Yeah, I just watched Woody's Gamertag video, and he says everyone's a little bit of homo." And you're like, "No, I'm not even a little bit gay."
No, that's pretty black and white. You know what I mean? Like, there's no gray area.
That video did. A lot of people seen that video.
Really?
Yeah, that video did very well.
What is it called? I'm not gay? Like, what is the... I don't even remember what the video was.
Was that the one we were talking about hitting women?
Yeah. No, I basically, like, people brought up the idea of, like, when it's appropriate to hit women, because that whole thing with the girl on the bus getting uppercutted. So, like, now people feel the need that they need to make up a list of situations where it's cool to hit a chick. And it's like, and if she's coming at you trying to kill you, then go ahead.
I hit a girl once. She was beating up my girlfriend. We were like out dancing, having a good time. We're in front of the club, right? A group of girls mistaked my girlfriend for someone else.
Yeah.
And they went after her and started like beating her up. There was like this big Puerto Rican girl on top of her hitting her, and I just went up and socked her and grabbed my girl and ran.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
I mean, sometimes, like, one time a girl recorded...
What are you going to do? You know, that's your girlfriend.
No, but a girl recorded the show in standard definition, so naturally she had to get beat there, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, there's a couple of caveats to that rule, I think. You know, protecting your own is one of them, like Keem said.
Well,
and number 2, nowadays, yeah, and plus 2, I mean, if they outweigh you by 2 to 1, you know, if it's a big woman like that, or it's a woman that maybe you can't tell if it's quite a woman, there may be, you know what I mean? If you reach under the hood, there may be a set of balls, then I think that's an exception.
In my situation, it was like a group of girls. So, like, my girlfriend didn't even have a chance to defend herself, and she was like blindsided. I was just like, fuck this.
Well, you did the right thing.
I was going to say, what kind of dance were you guys doing?
You hit the biggest one, and then they scatter, you know, so.
Shit, no matter how big she is, I may be running, man.
All right, so
I've
let me ask
seen,
you guys. Oh, go ahead.
I've seen a guy hit a girl in a club, and what always happens, or in the club scene or down on the strip, what always happens is like a bunch of dudes just like start beating the fuck out of the dude that punched the girl. Like that happens like every single time.
Except when it's Snooki.
So when I hit her, I grabbed my girlfriend and I literally like ran away. Like I'm like run.
That's smart.
Because I knew that there'd be some dude be like, "You just hit a girl?"
I was going to say, how frequent of an occurrence is that women or men punch women at clubs that you've noticed it so many times?
Not very much. I'd say 2, 3 a night.
Yeah, it happens. Well, see, Buffalo is like a really drinking like town. Like people get fucking crazy out here. It's insane.
The bars are open till 4.
Bars are open till 4 a.m.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
Blade, you were
a
bouncer at the bar, right?
Yeah, I was a bouncer at the bar back in Seattle.
Oh, okay, right on. How is it there compared to Buffalo? Is it like as intense or is it more chill?
It's pretty much the same kind of crowd. It's just that the Seattle crowd, they kick them out by 2, you know? So drinkers are drinkers. So you're gonna have your hicks, you're gonna have your the club goers. You have all kinds of different people that go out to clubs, but depending on the club, it's pretty much identical, just that they stay longer here, you know?
Yeah, out here it's like 3 o'clock most places, but 4 o'clock some places. It's kind of, sort of the same thing. Nothing good happens after 1 or 2 in the morning.
I think I'm getting old because like I literally do not like going out anymore. Like we've been going to these like festivals and stuff. It's just not fun. I don't know what's going on.
Hey, Surf, I just like to point out lots of things happen after 1 or 2 in the morning. That's when the chicks are drunk enough to go home with me. So
yeah, yeah.
I enjoy those. I enjoy those late nights.
Yeah, it's like the overtime. You don't necessarily need it, but it's nice to know that it could be there. You know what I mean? Like it's like a time mulligan.
No, but here's the thing. There'll be like no girls in the bar, and you'll want to go and wait until the fucking hits 4 a.m.
No, why would I want to do that?
No, you've done it before.
No.
Let's go.
Last call, girls.
I've literally had situations with friends out here that like want to go out, but they don't want me to get too drunk, so they'll like try to prolong, so we don't end up going out till like 2 because they don't want me being out there. Jesus, the cigarette's running my throat.
Sorry, apologize.
No, not at all.
We have to pause for a coughing interruption.
Yeah. Calls for the calls.
But anyhow.
So this is your guys' show. What's up?
Yeah, I was gonna say, who wants to pick the first topic?
What are the topics?
I would really love to talk about the bullshit goddamn gas prices. Seriously.
Talk about the bullshit goddamn gas prices.
A week ago, I go get gas, man, and it's $3.60, which is a fucking ripoff by far. But then I go get gas today, and it's fucking $4.19. This is like 8 days later.
I'm 30 years old. When I was in high school, a senior in high school, which wasn't that long ago, like 10 years ago, maybe 12, whatever. All right. I went to the Indian reservation near us, and they don't have taxes on their gas, and I got gas for 83 cents a gallon.
When I was 18 years old, which was quite some time ago, I remember gas being 99 cents a gallon. That was the lowest I've seen it since then, and that was quite some time ago.
Yeah, when I was in high school,
it basically means there's no cruising, and you really have to be dedicated to where you want to go.
Oh, it sucks, dude. That's the worst part.
I'm not going over to a female's house with the gas prices like this.
In 2001, I remember when gas hit like $2. We were like, "What is going on? This is crazy." Now it's double that.
People are like, it will never hit $4, and if it hits $4, we won't buy gas. And now
it's insane.
They can make gas $10, and we're still going to buy gas. It's a thing where we
have no choice.
Yeah, we have no choice in the matter.
Well, that's the whole thing, is until it costs more money to get to work wherever you need to go than it is to buy the gas, we're going to continue to buy gas because we don't have a choice.
Yeah. I literally just quit a job because it was more expensive for me to drive there and do the job.
Yep.
Dude, that fucking sucks, man. That's bullshit.
No, I did the math. I was like, because my car doesn't get that great of gas mileage. It's a big old Cadillac. I have to put premium in there, and it's a half-hour drive there and back. So I did the math. I'm like, I think I might break even. Fuck this. This is retarded.
Yeah,
and a lot of people on Twitter are like, "You fucking quitter," and I'm like, go volunteer somewhere and then come back at me. Like, what?
Because that's what it was. It was like
I was pretty much just volunteering. You know, at that point.
Yeah, it sucks though, man, because I just turned 35, so it was about 20 years ago when I was in high school, and I mean, gone are the days of, like you said, being able to just jump in the car and cruise around. You know, one of your buddies has a license or gets to borrow somebody's car, and you want to go cruising, you know, and everybody chips together a couple dollars a piece, and you could drive all night, man. You know?
When I was a kid, I literally would go to a friend's house with no money, with no gas, knowing if I somehow ran out of gas, I could just knock on someone's door and be like, "Hey, I ran out of gas," and they'd give me like 3 gallons.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that used to be the world we live in. That'll never happen again.
Now they'll shoot you.
Yeah.
Now they'll shoot you and bury you in the backyard.
Oh, you want gas and you don't have no money? I don't think so.
Yeah.
Now you feel like an asshole. Have you ever gone in and like just had a little bit of cash on you? I don't really carry cash. When I do, I try to get gas for like $5. Like $5 pump 3. They're like, what are you putting in there?
I think the biggest reason why the
hopes
gas
and dreams.
I think the biggest reason why the gas prices have gotten so high is because they know their lifespan isn't that much longer. 10 years from now, we're not going to be dependent on gas like we are now.
That whole theory is called peak oil. I don't know if you guys have heard of the peak oil theory, but it's like, okay, so oil is a natural resource, right? Which means there's a finite quantity of it. Now, we hit that peak, I think it was sometime in the early 2000s, and since then production has gone down. regardless of whatever we've done, there's this concept called net energy. So as much money as you're spending to get a pound or a gallon of oil out of the ground versus how much it costs to get it out of the ground, at some point, drilling and building these platforms just isn't conducive to getting gasoline. So what's happened is we've seen that peak now of production, and now we're on the downslope. And so what this says is like, you know, any natural phenomenon in the known universe, what goes up must come down. And so I think we're headed for a total oil collapse.
People that have these cars that are like hybrids or super gas efficient, they love to rub it in your face. They're like, I drove to bars on a half a tank. It was awesome. And I'm like, fuck off. Like,
well, and the thing is, those people too, they don't realize is like, for instance, there's 7 gallons of oil in every tire on your car. Like even if today we found an energy solution, there's not enough oil left in the world to create 200 million cars to put back on the road because carbon fiber, like I said, your tires. I mean, there's oil in everything. Pesticides, toothpaste, your food. I mean, it's everywhere.
The whole I always like when I'm daydreaming, this has come up in my brain millions of times. Sorry, I picture the train, the whole idea of something on a track and going, and I see that as such a better method, and I don't understand why we don't have some type of method like that today. Yeah, you could still buy a car, but you go out and you get on these main highways on a track, you type in your computer where you're going, and it just takes you there. You don't have to drive the fucking thing.
They've had that idea.
I'm thinking slingshots.
That's why.
Slingshots.
Well, it's accurate, but it's a better ride for sure.
I kind of like teleporters, I like shit like
I would love teleporters.
From when I was a kid, man, shit like from the Jetsons and Star Trek and stuff like that, man, those tubes that shoot you around, or like a Star Trek or even Spaceballs or whatever, where they just teleport you, man.
I just watched a special on that, on some guys that are actually like, they're quantum mechanic physicists, and they're like trying to figure out a way to actually do that, and they say that the main problem, aside from disseminating your body and transporting it somewhere else and effectively killing you in the process, the other problem is the wealth of data. You think of every single atom in your body, there's a known position for each electron. Like, all that data has to be recorded in order to be reconstructed. So it's such a massive amount of information.
If you could teleport someone, then you could duplicate someone, because that's what you'd have to do.
That's exactly right.
But also,
teleportation would kill the human race.
Here's the thing, but also I think that the reason why we haven't had teleportation yet is because we don't necessarily have to physically be places.
Yeah, I was going to say, you can just work from home. If everyone just worked from home.
I work from home. I make all my videos
retail
at home.
guys, but you got to work from home. You got to figure out something to do at home, then.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sean.
I mean, what was it like? Even like the Zimmerman trial, there was a guy that was being depositioned or whatever, and he couldn't make it. He couldn't physically get there.
Oh, this is hilarious.
So they did it over Skype.
Really?
And he got Skype bombed.
He did get Skype bombed because it was on TV, so people saw like the
They started calling him over and over again.
Yeah.
Oh, it was hilarious.
But I just think that you don't have to. The reason why teleportation is there, you don't have to physically be places.
Yeah.
Most of the time, you don't have to physically be somewhere.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, because now with technology, they're making it so, you can do everything. I mean, now you can sit in front of a computer for 8 or 10 hours a day and make your living, pay your bills, take care of.
You can do it while you masturbate.
Yeah, exactly. In between,
in
between, you got to have a little rest in between. That's when you take care of your bills, your work, that sort of thing. Recharge. And then you go and flog the dolphin. Or whatever you got to do.
Who the fuck needs a recharge, man?
I'm watching my face on the replay. Why the fuck do I look so angry?
Maybe you're angry.
Day,
I just I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't feel angry, but I look angry as fuck.
You look a little different today. I was going to mention that, but I thought that would be the best conversation starter. Hey, you look a little fucking
you look
different.
kind of shitty today.
You look kind of angry today. So
Basically, your Cheerios.
I look so fucking angry. Everyone's you told me when you got here, you're like, why are you in a bad? I don't think I'm in a bad mood, but
which is the last question you want to get if you actually are in a bad mood.
Yeah.
Because then you get in a bad mood, yeah.
And I'm looking at myself, and I look so fucking angry.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I still can't get over those pink headphones. Those are lovely.
Those are classic.
Just lovely. So.
I guarantee you, he has a bot. Dude, every time you buy an iPod or an iPad, it comes with those little wires.
I don't even know where they are.
Oh, how convenient.
I have fucking 3 iPads in this house.
I have to say, it is astonishing to me that 2 YouTubers are in the same house and don't have a pair of earbuds.
Yeah, right? I got like 6 of them little.
Well, I don't live here. I come over here to do the podcast.
Yeah,
so.
he's got his own
I never
place.
knew that. I thought you guys.
No,
were
hell no, never.
Oh, you answered that pretty vehemently.
I got a house and a family and a kid.
Oh, right on, dude. Yeah, I mean, I knew vaguely of that, but I didn't. I just assumed that you guys were roommates.
No.
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 No, that would not.
That would suck.
That would be horrible.
We just hang out a lot during the day, but then we go our separate ways at night.
Yeah. Well, I just think
That's
okay,
the best
so
type of relationship anyway.
Whenever you're friends with somebody, like I'm single, and Keem he's not like married or anything, but he's got a girl and he's got a daughter. So like.
Yeah, that's a whole different dynamic, man.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
And when I first came out here, I thought that my friendship with him might be a little odd for Melissa because I'm like a dude that I do whatever I want, and I'm you know what I mean? Like, what's that movie? I Love You, Man. Remember how that dude was just like a stoner and lived in a shack and didn't have any responsibilities?
What's the best?
So I was thinking that Melissa maybe looked at me like that dude, you know?
Well, dude, you're just like you just said it. You don't have any responsibilities. Like your apartment and my house would never. You lived here for a while. It was stressful.
I did actually when
Yo, he hooked up with some questionable women. When I say questionable,
Tranny?
Who has?
nothing like that. When I say questionable, I mean non-attractive.
Transvestite.
Right?
Oh, okay. Wouldn't
All right.
fuck with a stolen dick.
And this dude said to me, that doesn't count. I know I fucked this like ugly bitch, but it doesn't count. I'm like, how does it not count? He's like, I'm homeless. Because he was staying with me at the time.
If you can pull pussy when you're homeless, you're doing something. So
Oh,
I
yeah,
will
mulligan.
lower
Yeah,
my
it's a mulligan.
bar for that situation.
You
I
didn't.
pulled ass twice in the span of a thing where I had no mailing address.
You were not homeless.
I was homeless.
Dude,
So wait,
only
let me
use my
ask
dick.
you
He
about
was
that.
looking for an apartment, and he was staying here for a couple weeks. Banged some questionable woman, and when he was questioned on it, he said, "I'm homeless."
Yeah,
That is
that's why.
ridiculous.
As soon as I got my
That
place, I
is
never called her.
ridiculous.
That sounds pretty solid to me.
Works for me too.
Kind of invalidates the argument there.
If
Say you're
you can
homeless.
pull some ass when you're homeless, then I think the
All
bar
right.
can be lowered.
All right, so you're saying that everyone out there that lives with their parents right now, you can go and hook up with sloths.
Yeah, because if you still live
You
with
can
your parents.
go hook up with
Sloths are in
sloths,
right now.
and nobody can give you shit because you're technically homeless.
Yes.
Sloths are in.
Yes,
Bullshit.
Yes, and this is the reason why. Okay, let's say someone has a friend that like got their own dorm or got their own apartment, and then one of them that's still living at home. Okay,
When you
if you're able to
hook
be like,
up
I'm
with
living at my folks.
questionable
No,
women,
No.
your friends have a right to pick on you. You
I
can't
don't
just
give a shit.
you can't just pull I'm a homeless card.
Oh,
I'm
every single
that
person
doesn't
has
get
had
you out of jail.
every single person has had some people that they're not proud of that they hooked up.
And you get picked on for it.
I don't care if you pick on me for it, but I'm just saying that you don't get to pick on me for that one because I was homeless.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying.
This right here
Hey,
should be a
Keem.
whole YouTube channel.
Hey,
It's just
Keem,
the
he-
Odd Couple.
Keem, he gets a mulligan because he's homeless. Okay.
I was homeless at the time.
It's called
I almost
Buster.
did it because I was homeless.
Give the poor guy a mulligan. He had no.
I
mulligan.
am
He had no
not
home, seriously.
allowing that excuse to play in that
That's not an excuse,
scenario.
it's a reason.
Is there a picture of her? Of it?
Well, it would be more like a collage. We'd have to get a bunch
Porn
of pictures
tube.
and put it together.
It's on PornTube. He's under celebrities.
All right, wait. So let me ask this. I've always
You know
been
you look
curious,
familiar, Blade.
and I'm sure it's chronicled somewhere in a video that I've missed. But Blade, what prompted your decision to move from Seattle over to New York? I've always been curious about that.
Oh, rough subject.
No, it's not even.
Oh, I'm sorry. Shit.
I'll quickly go through it. So I lived in Seattle. Keem flew me out here to film a music video that was fucking horrible.
It was awesome. People love it. People
Anyways.
love the BKS music videos.
So as I was out here, we decided to film in real life stuff. Like we actually filmed a video where I go on a Segway through a McDonald's drive-thru.
I love that. I saw that video. That's so funny. That's when I first learned of Keemstar. Actually, was that video.
So I spent like thousands of dollars, got all the camera equipment, wireless microphones, flew out a camera guy that I knew out here, and we started actually filming a reality
We
show.
actually made some of the best shit you've ever seen.
Like-
I'm not trying to like pump us up because those channels are gone, but like we made.
We
some
had a
amazing
reality
shit.
show. We had a reality show,
Yeah.
pretty much. And what happened is me and the cameraman didn't get along the cameraman like fucked us over, quit, and we couldn't find anyone to replace him.
And also we lost those channels.
Yeah, we lost those channels too in the process. I had an issue with YouTube at the time that got eventually cleared up, but there was a lot of drama. Like we believed in it.
Drama alert! Drama alert!
We believed in it, and we were gonna do. And me and him were like, we're just gonna do this. We fucking risked it all, and we're still doing it. It's not really a sad story. It's just another bump in the road.
Yeah.
It's a story that's still in progress, is what you're saying, right? I mean, it hasn't played out yet.
Do you guys have intentions of eventually releasing that shit, or?
Well, it's been released.
All of it. I didn't realize that. I thought you had like a bunch of shit stocked up. It sounded like.
Well, no, it was released. People loved it, but we still have them, and we're gonna re-release it probably on a DVD or something.
I don't know. Like we have a lot of footage.
We have everything, really.
Mostly.
So from that, you just decided to stay out there, or?
Well, I signed a year lease, so.
Oh, okay.
But also, it is a lot cheaper out here in Buffalo than it is in Seattle. Like Seattle's
is it really?
Way cheaper
to live. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have never thought that because I just assumed that New York was fucking expensive like Chicago is.
Well, the city.
I knew a couple guys that were upstate there.
Buffalo and New
Buffalo
York are
area
different though. Like Buffalo is
like, okay, you know how Detroit is like bankrupt and going to hell and all that.
Right.
Buffalo like survived the same thing that Detroit was going through. We survived it because we had all industry and everything, and we survived it by like going into communications. That's a lot of where everything is here, but it still hit us pretty hard. So it's super cheap to buy houses and to rent and to do anything out here.
I mean, and plus it's like the cost of moving back would be really expensive, and also it's expensive to live out in Seattle. And
Detroit's going through hell. Did you see they got rid of all their cops?
What?
They like got rid of like all their cops.
Outsource, yeah.
And they like freaking they filmed this family, and the family had a robbery, right? They called the cops. It took 4 hours for the cop to show up.
No shit.
It's in San Bernardino, California, where my girlfriend works. They like won't respond unless there's a murder or a robbery or some kind of like felony. If it's like a misdemeanor, they like won't even go over. They close at night. Like the police station closes at night.
That's the place to go do crime.
Please, no crimes between the hours of 10 p.m. and 6 a.m.
Exactly.
It's like, if this is an emergency, fuck you.
I have such a criminal mind. I'm like always like daydreaming about crimes, but like I'm not a criminal. Like I don't commit crimes, but I daydream about them. Like if I were to do this, this is how I do it.
Oh, I think about that shit all the time.
Why?
We just talked about on our podcast about the best way to rob a bank. Like I would get away in an off-road vehicle better than like just a fast car.
Why does my brain sit there and try to think of ways to commit crimes? That's fucked up. You do the same thing. What's wrong with you? Are you a criminal?
No.
That's why you guys are
I'm not a criminal, but
I think almost everybody thinks like that, though, at one time or another, because think about it. Keem, you mentioned you're 30. Blade, how old are you?
30.
You're 30. I'm mid-30s, so I mean, we all grew up right around the same time. And I mean, a lot of movies that I saw growing up, movies like with Al Pacino and De Niro, Heat. There was all those movies like glorified that type of thing, you know.
I think I think everyone has those thoughts. It's just that criminals are either dumb enough or desperate enough to actually do the shit.
Yeah. I think most of it's desperation, ultimately.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Ultimately, if you're put in a position, you know, where you have your back against the wall, you feel like there's no other way, you know, then you wind up doing something. That's not exactly the legal.
People actually purposely go to jail sometimes.
why? Oh, because they're homeless.
They get free food?
No, not even that. They actually do it to make money. They will go in with like heroin, like a lot of heroin. Like they'll swallow like 20 balloons, and then they'll
get arrested.
Go in there, and then they sell
And then sell this shit?
Yeah.
Wow.
And they make good money for that, dude.
One pops and they die.
That's insane.
That's next level.
Yeah, that's wow.
Drug dealers talking to other drug dealers. Man, you're not fucking.
I've heard of like the homeless guy that like makes a public scene so he gets arrested so he's a place to stay during the winter.
Yeah. There's that kind of stuff too. But there's actually people that like have homes and are like, okay, well, I got to go do a 3-month bid. Like they do like a 3-month bid, and they make like $200,000 from that one bid, and then just chill the rest of the time. But every year they go to jail for like 3 months.
Yeah, but who's paying them in jail?
When they get in jail, there's like a whole operation. Apparently, drugs is like a huge industry in the prison system.
Yeah, and cigarettes. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Drugs, cigarettes, and tattoos.
And blowjobs.
And anal sex.
Damn,
Yeah, I guess that's true. And probably soap making. That's probably a whole industry in there.
Speaking of breaking the law, I have a what would you rather question.
All right.
Let's hear it.
This is on the topic list, but when I was home like a year and a half ago, I was thinking about this, and it's a bunch of my friends are getting DUIs in Arizona. It's really, really hot out here to, you know.
Your roommate is doing the exact same thing behind you, or that's a mirror.
That's a mirror.
No, it is a mirror. But the question is, would you rather get a DUI and have to tell your family and friends all about it, not including like the possible week in jail and a $10,000 fine after all the expenses, or would you perform oral sex on the cop and not to tell anybody?
DUI.
I'd take the DUI.
DUI.
DUI in
Why?
a second.
Why is, let me ask you a
What if
question.
it's a
How
female
come
cop?
when there ever is, what would you rather pick, they're always horrible situations?
That would be a boring question.
True.
Would you rather have Pepsi
So no one
or
would do it?
Coca-Cola for lunch?
Would you rather have $1 million or a million bitches to fuck at any time?
A million bitches?
Yeah, but then you have to feed them all.
No, because you can pay them.
You have to take care of
If
them.
you had a million bitches, there's going to be a surplus of bitches. Like you can.
No, they're gonna
You
die.
just let 'em die
They're literally gonna die of starvation. Like you have to take care of them.
If you had a million bitches though, and
You could become a pimp.
you're a pimp at that
Yeah,
point.
you could pimp half of them out to make
Yeah.
money for you to support the other half that you like.
So just to
Well,
break
that
even,
business
just to
is
get
so
your $1
dead
million
these days.
back, you would have to get $1 from each one of them. If you can get $1 out of each one of them, you're good. Now you're a millionaire with a million bitches. That's awesome.
See, I would take the $1 million and invest in a prostitution ring and then develop my own business and have the best of both worlds.
And, you just get the
And no
bottom
responsibility, because then they're accountable to you for bringing you more money.
It's supply and demand. If
If
all of a
you have
sudden
the
a million
million
girls
bitches,
go
I'll
off the
give you-
market,
If you have $1 million bitches give you $1, you're picking option 1 then.
and you still have the females.
No, you don't.
Well, they're going to give it $1 and be like, I'm free!
You don't understand. These women are not your responsibility. They can't give you money.
I'm sure I could talk them into it.
But you're responsible for feeding them.
Okay, when you get these million bitches, right? They just pop out of thin air. They're not real people with fucking jobs and
No,
careers
I want
and
real people.
families.
I
So
want
that's
them
like my
taken.
life, not a
no,
real
no,
woman,
wet
right?
taken out of families.
Like they're fucking.
I will
manufactured.
have a $10
Right there,
a
when you
$10
pick what
ransom.
you want.
No, I'll have a $10 ransom for every single one of them. I'm gonna have $10 million because if someone, here's the thing, if Melissa gets kidnapped, right, and the guy's like, give me $10, you're like, fine, here you go. You know what I mean? Like they wouldn't have any issue with that. So $10 million,
Fucking
you got $10 million,
$10.
you're good. Who's gonna be
Like
pissed? I'm not
babysitting.
calling the cops. If someone steals my girlfriend and says, listen, give me $10, I'll give you girl, like here you go, here's a 20.
Dude, I can see how this was a reality show.
But
Yeah.
that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. All right. If you pick the million women, right? They just manifest. They're just there. They don't have a prior history.
Time
They're
out.
just
Are they?
slaves.
Do they just manifest,
How
or
can
do
you
they
get
taken
pregnant?
away?
That's the
Or they
real
take
issue.
away-
Do they have like social security numbers, or are these like immigrants? I mean, what are we talking
They're-
about? Because you
they're-
said you have to feed them, so you're responsible
They're
for
created out of thin air and they're slaves. They're slave women.
But they require
Slavery was
nutritional
abolished.
intake. I just want to be clear.
They're basically robots,
Well,
but not robots.
the fucked up thing is that all million of them
You just
are
described my
going
last
to
3 girlfriends.
get on the same cycle, and that's going to be
Oh.
terror.
Whatever.
No, women when they get together, they get on the same cycle.
Dude, I can testify that Jim and I, we grew up in a house of 6, and there was 4 women in the house, and it was fucking nightmare once a month. And
Yeah.
try emptying the fucking bathroom garbages. That was my job.
them.
Oh.
Yeah, that
I
was
would get
fucking-
one of my 1 million women to do that.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Why is there so many things sticking to it?
It's
funny
funny shit.
horrible.
Let's do a drink check really quick. I can't talk. I'm drinking
terrible.
Red Stripe, which I have something to fucking say about. If you guys notice, it says Jamaican style lager now and not Jamaican lager, and because those fuckers moved their operations from Jamaica to Latrobe, Pennsylvania, and they still charge you $8.50 for a fucking 6-pack.
That's terrible.
Yeah, and I'm the jackass who paid $8.50 for a 6-pack that he's drinking right now.
I was gonna say, and I didn't even pay for it. Shank paid for it, but No, it pisses me off because the whole reason why you pay all this money for Red Stripe beer is because of the imports, right? It's the import taxes. Like, it's just a general lager. There's nothing about this beer that's very special. You pour it into a glass, you're wasting your time. There's no real head. There's no real mouthfeel. Not that I'm an expert on beer. But what the fuck? Why am I still paying $8.50, in this case, Shank, paying $8.50 for a six-pack? I think that's ridiculous.
It costs more to have operations in the United States than overseas, but then when it's overseas, that's the excuse. It's just like the bullshit with the gas, man. I mean, I read that article that Shank linked us to, and they said, hey, by the end of the year, oil is going to be $50 a barrel, but guess what? You're not going to see $2 a gallon gas because people aren't buying as much. We have surpluses of it, and we have transportation and refining charges. Like those just popped up recently. You've always had to refine.
I've always liked the shipping and handling things. It's like, what if I were to come there and just get it off the assembly line? We still charging for that?
It's like if I just go out and pick it up. I'll stop by once a month.
Handling. What are you handling?
Milwaukee. It's not that far.
They would charge you some erroneous convenience fee, like as if it's more convenient for you to go there.
There actually was this story back home of this dude that would sell drugs, but he would sell the bag of drugs really expensive, like a little plastic bag. He's like, these plastic bags cost $100, but the drugs are free, and that's like how he like tried to get away with it.
Business model. I sold fake drugs to a kid on the bus once in 6th grade.
Oregano.
Yeah, it was. And then the next day, his name was Kevin. He came back to me. He's like, "Dude, that was great shit. Can I get some more?" And I was like, "Fuck yeah!" I just kept.
They've done studies where they've shaved off the A on aspirins and gone to raves and like sold them as ecstasy, and all the people acted like they were high on ecstasy.
Yeah.
It's like a placebo effect.
The placebo effect. Yeah,
it absolutely is, because back in the day I had similar experiences as well.
Which I don't fall for that though. Like if I'm taking drinks and I don't get drunk, I'm not gonna be like, I'm drunk. I'm gonna be like.
It's funny that you say that. There was a study I learned of where they say like 70% of the feeling you feel when you're at a party, hanging out at a bar, whatever, is expectations. It's the environment, it's interacting with people, it's whatever. They say when they take people and put them alone in a room and make them drink, that it's almost always a miserable experience.
And it's funny, and that makes a lot of sense though too, because honestly, now having 3 kids and being in my mid-30s, I just don't. I don't have the energy and time or the babysitter to go out as much anymore. But when we do go out, it's obviously it's a rare occurrence, but it seems like a lot of times I have the same amount of drinks or even less when I'm out, and I seem usually pretty good, man. Like I feel good and hammered. But when my wife and I just sit around the house and have a few drinks, it's just not the same thing.
Just like a whole handle of vodka.
No, we're not up. We're not moving. For me, it's really just hoping that we're going to get to happy time and.
You know what I mean? 69, yeah.
And hoping I don't fall asleep or she doesn't fall asleep before that happens. So, like you said, the expectations of it, and when you're out and about amongst friends.
What I'm saying is there's no point of fucking drinking. Like, people need to start doing things, Like, do stuff. Every time I hang out with my friends, I don't care who it is, we get together and we drink. That's what we do.
Yeah.
Why don't we get together and climb a fucking mountain? Why don't we get together and fucking go jump off a bridge? Why don't we get together and go do some crazy ass shit?
Because everyone can be really good at drinking. Not all of us are good at climbing mountains.
No, it's because people are old and boring.
Just get a Camelback and go hiking with alcohol.
I think it's a moderation thing. Like
if I could flip a switch and be 14 again, I'd probably do it.
Who wouldn't?
Do you do it too?
Hell yeah. As long as I knew what I knew now.
Yeah, I'm in. No matter what the side effects.
It's amazing
because
I know less now than I did when I was 14. So.
It's not that you know less. You just realize that you don't know anything. It's more the realization of not knowing.
Well, no, it's the alcohol and bong residue that's totally screwed up my brain that I don't know anything. Half the time I don't know my fucking name.
Dude. I've always wondered, because there's like always conflicting studies saying whether or not like weed actually affects memory and shit, and like viewers and longtime subs know that I smoke pot somewhat. I wouldn't say avidly, but I don't know. I'm usually a daily smoker.
Yeah.
But
every 12 minutes.
It's weird, like I don't know. I don't feel like it's made me dumber. If that's not even a fucking word, but.
Well, you smoke every day though, so you wouldn't know the difference, really.
Well, that's the thing though, is that when I smoke, it's always after like 7 o'clock when my son goes to sleep. So it's almost always at night. Like in the morning, I might be a little bit tired or something, but usually by morning I'm totally fine. There's not a side effect like a hangover or something. So.
I've gotten weed hangovers before.
Yeah, well, shit, man. I think
maybe I'm having one today. Maybe that's why I look so angry.
It's the same thing.
That's what they're saying in the chat, Keem, that you're pretty high. So
One of the other things I said in the chat, they said, whose channel is this? So this is Surfed Up Entertainment, and a little background really quick. Keemstar and Blade, I've liked them for a long time. I sponsored an episode of Bad Kid Cast, and yeah, you got. Oh, by the way, I wanted to say thank you guys because I had also sponsored an episode of PKA, and like, I have nothing bad to say, but they briefly mentioned the channel, and that was cool, whatever. But you guys like went out of your way to go in depth about my channel and a video, and I really appreciate that. It was really cool. That video you guys were talking about actually got a bunch of views. So
yeah, right on.
Thank you.
And
yeah,
I don't
man.
want to talk bad about any other podcasts either, so that works.
Yeah, man. I've got nothing.
We do it better.
It's funny because like I don't, like I had said in the pre-show, I don't listen to a lot of podcasts, but you guys are the only guys I've ever seen with two guys on a podcast, and then I find it interesting because you're doing basically what you're doing now. It's like the Odd Couple thing, and it's really, really fascinating to watch.
You know what? That's the only real reason why it works. Because if we just were fucking homos and just agreed with each other all the time, then it would be boring.
Like, yeah, so here's my opinion. Yep, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Where's the conversation?
We differ so much that it works. So.
And, like, outside of the podcast, like, we pretty much argue about everything. So,
You guys are like an old married couple.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, like, I don't know. I just feel like I have to argue with him for, like, I represent good in the world, and he represents good. So I'm like on the council for humans.
No, that reminds me of when we were in Seattle and we saw the guy and he was asking for change.
Yeah. I got so pissed off. Oh, my God.
We're driving around in Seattle. It's me, him, Dylan's mom, and I forgot where the fuck we were going. We're in downtown Seattle. We stop at this red light, and this guy's outside the Blade's car. Windows are down. It's a hot summer day. And he's like, yo, anybody got some change? And I go, well, Obama promised it. And
that's such a douchebag thing to say, though.
He lost it.
Yeah, because I was driving the fucking car.
He was like, what is wrong with you?
No.
There is no humanity in your soul. I'm like,
No. All right, if I'm driving the car and you say some fucked up shit, like I'm like responsible for it.
it's a homeless guy begging.
I don't want to be a dick to a homeless guy. I don't want to.
Why?
Homeless
Because I
mulligan.
don't go around being dick to people. You don't
Maybe he
have a problem
wants to
being
get
dick
laid,
people.
too.
I have a problem being just dicks to random people. I don't know.
You know what? You
Homeless
guys.
Blade,
people-
maybe that homeless guy was trying to get laid.
Homeless people are in this world to give motivation to the people that do not want to be non-homeless. You know what I'm saying?
I
They're the screw-ups.
understand.
They're the screw-ups of the screw-ups. All right?
But
People
a lot of
with
people
homes
though. A lot of
and
people
people
choose
that work in
change.
jobs and that work their ass off should not be giving money to poor people begging for it. They should be picking on them.
I don't know about picking on them. Be about your business, you know.
You should go up to them and be like, ha ha, you're homeless. So they're like, wait, maybe I shouldn't be homeless. But because we reward them and give them money, right, they're like, well, why would I go get a job when I can just
Actually,
stand here
I
and
talked
I'm going to
about
get
this-
free shit?
I talked about this in the commentary
You
once.
should
and
pick
I-
on these motherfuckers.
I feel like it's an issue of like social conditioning, right? Like we're trained to believe that somehow if you don't have a job or status or fame or wealth or whatever, that you're somehow less of a contributing member to society. But let's not forget, a lot of panhandlers and homeless people are that by choice, and that's just their lifestyle. And so I don't know. I don't feel like they're necessarily a drain on the economy because when you think about it, the Wall Street banker is using more gas, more resources, more whatever in his millionaire lifestyle than a homeless person ever is by scavenging off of other people.
You could
Right.
cut the home.
Performing. You should be like doing some kind of duty. Like
If there was a law where you can't give money to homeless people, then the fucking homeless rate would go down because they'll be like, fuck, now we have to go get jobs.
And the other thing.
Here's the thing, though. When you're at that point, of being homeless, unless you have family, okay, which they could help you out, unless you have family, you're just fucked. No one's going to hire a homeless person.
Let me explain to you. There are so many social programs
I'd hire a homeless.
in this world. Like, you can go to the fucking government and they'll fucking hook you up,
I'm just
give
saying-
you food stamps, get you on your feet to get a job where you can start taking care of yourself. These motherfuckers don't want to do that. They're out there saying, give me money. Give me money. I need a hamburger. Bull fucking shit. You can get food stamps. You can get fucking more food a month than the average person actually buys.
And listen, both you guys, and actually everybody who commented, these are all valid points, but my personal opinion is, I don't know if anybody ever saw this, about a year or two ago, because we live right outside of Chicago, so my wife and kids and I, we go downtown a lot.
We see a lot of homeless people.
On the train. And as soon as you get off the train, there's homeless people everywhere, and a lot of times they kind of jump up and, come on, give me a quarter, and they kind of scare the kids a little bit. But listen, I saw this special a couple years ago. I saw this special a couple years ago, like a 2020 type deal with like John Stossel or something, and the dude went and he put some dirt on his face and threw it.
I told you about this.
This guy went and he was out there for 8 hours, like a regular job, and he made like $143. Okay, and I forget what major city. It might have been Chicago, New York, whatever.
It was in New York.
And he went and calculated out, and he said if I did this for 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, I would make $26,400 tax-free money a year. And get this. About 2 years ago, we were on the Metro train, which is the equivalent out here in Chicago of like the L train or whatever. We're on the way back, and I see a guy get on the train, and he comes on there, and he's looking all dirty, and he's got his reflective thing on that they put on so he doesn't get hit while he's panhandling in the middle of the street, doesn't get hit by a car.
I apologize, I bothered your family, Jim.
He's got all this stuff, and he's got his sign and everything like that. This motherfucker goes into the bathroom on the train, right, and washes up, comes out, and the guy didn't have a suit on or anything like that, but he was dressed better than I was, okay? Sits down, packs all his shit away, and I'm thinking, you motherfucker. This is one of the guys that they're talking about. That now he's taking the train back home to his house, and he's talking to somebody on his cell phone on the way home, and you were just begging for money, So now I can't give a lot of times because I don't trust him.
Here's the thing, though. I think that we value this idea that we're not going to sell ourselves, or we're not going to put ourselves through the humiliation of doing the panhandling. These people are actually smarter if you think about it. They're like, fuck it. If I make more money standing here tax-free, I get cash.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. They're smart, all right? You're being dumb by saying be nice to the homeless.
I don't give money to the homeless, but I don't treat them like assholes.
You do give them money.
I don't give them money.
I've seen you give them money.
I've never given a homeless person money. I like how I'm defending that. I've never
actually, when we were at Billionaires Challenge in California, it was me, Extras, you, and maybe Syndicate or someone, I don't know. And on the way home, we stopped at homeless people, and you and Extras went and gave them food.
That's different, though. Those people are sleeping on a bench. Those were the real ride or die homeless people, okay? And we had extra.
Those are lifers.
Those are the lifers.
The fucking lifer, ride or die.
Yeah, they're sleeping on a bench. They probably, they were probably in Washington, but they moved down to California.
Well, what I'm saying, if you didn't give them that food, they'd be hungry. They'd be like, "Fuck, maybe I should go get a job."
I understand both viewpoints, man. Blade's trying to have a heart, and I understand that point because I've helped people too, And then on the other end too, you got like what Keem's saying, man. These people you gotta wake up sometimes too, and you can't ever become complacent. And if you've gotten to that point where you're begging for money, and then you go and you see that people will go and give in to you and give you money, and that you can actually, make a decent buck just by lowering your expectations and degrading yourself, so to speak, man.
Yeah.
What's you know what I mean? What is what's your initiative to ever get up and actually do something, man? To start working and contributing. So I understand both sides of it, man. It's
Let me jump in here. I've been around long enough, and I know this shit, and it's the fact that I busted my ass every day for what I got, so I ain't giving shit to anybody who isn't in my immediate circle. I ain't fucking giving anyone. You're fucking panhandling. Fuck you. I'm sorry.
Amen.
I mean, seriously. I don't want to pick sides. But everything I got in my motherfucking life, I earned. Ain't no motherfucker gonna take shit away from me. I ain't giving shit to anybody. Seriously.
We literally
I wake my ass up.
And to be truthful, it wasn't even my food.
Shit.
I gave away Extras' food.
After the show, Sean's gonna go stab a man in the street.
I know, right? He's gonna go straight down to Chicago and just fucking beat a homeless guy.
To be truthful, I gave away Extras' food.
Sean's gonna go stab a homeless man and light him on fire after the show.
I've never done this, but I've seen people try to give food to the homeless. They're like, nah. They don't want it.
They want beer, dude. That's all.
Yeah, they want beer or
dude, when we were in Houston, we were on this street. Everything was fine. We went one street over to the gas station, or not Houston, Dallas, and there was fucking bums everywhere. I'm like, what the fuck? It was like a different world. Over here was completely fine. On the other side of the fucking block, it was like Walking Dead. They're all fucking. Got change. 20 cents. I need bus fare. Like, it was fucking ridiculous.
Now, what about the people that like have a talent and do the shit on the street corner?
Now, see, I have respect for that.
That's different. That's different.
Yeah, that's a talent, man, and that's one of those things where if I have some money on me and I think it's and I like what they're doing or whatever, I have respect for that. A lot of times I'll throw them a buck or whatever.
Let's go do that.
No, I want to go.
Let's go do that and see how much money we can make.
No. I have a way better idea.
It would be hilarious.
And I know this goes against what my whole stance on this, but I want to like go up to homeless people and I want to see if they will like give me change for 100, and I want to see if they will take a check.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Check.
This is what I'm envisioning.
Hey, I only have my debit card. Can you take that, please?
This is what I'm envisioning, right? I take a bunch of YouTubers, right? And we call it the Entertainment Challenge. And they have to stand on a street corner and do some type of performing, and whoever wins the most money wins. Or gets the most money wins.
We were talking about doing that for my channel because I play drums and all this shit. We live right by Chicago, and we should just get a drum platform. We should combine both ideas. We'll take the drum platform, push it right up to a sleeping homeless person, and I'll just fucking jam until they wake up.
No, I'm talking like on my thing. I want to go up with a $100 bill and be like, "Do you have change for this?" I don't want to give him any money. I just want him to give me.
Hey Blade, the funny part is
the
funny part is when he comes out, and he's like, "What do you need back?" And he's got 20s, 50s, 100s.
Yeah. He's like, "What you want, brother? You want
Exactly.
10s? You want 5s? You want singles? You going to the strip club? Come on."
Oh man.
The homeless people. The homeless people in bars is a great, beautiful combination. Like I got friends that are like bartenders and shit, and like back in the day, like when I was big in the club scene, there would always be like a bum assigned to each bar, and they would have to like go in and clean up puke and do all kinds of retarded shit, and they would get like a free alcohol if they do all this stuff.
Free alcohol.
I love that. That was great.
Yeah, they would
There
do
always one in the
You're
bathroom.
so removed
no,
from bars now that you call it a free alcohol.
a free alcohol.
Sounds like a video game power-up. And now you get a free alcohol. Thank
Like
you
a really bad dub
thank you
from,
for
like, a
unclogging
Final
that toilet, Mr. Holmes.
How many alcohols have you had tonight?
I get 4 free alcohols.
Dude, they would make this bum do the stupidest shit. They would say like,
Time out.
"I'll give
I
you
gotta say-
$20 if you drink this gallon of piss," and they would like they would fuck with this bum so bad.
Okay, I have a true drinker when they go out, they feel that they can really only base how much they drank based off the amount of drinks that they personally bought, not how many drinks were bought for them.
Ooh.
So
What?
yeah, I'm serious. I've gone out and I've in a situation where I bought like 3 drinks for myself,
Okay.
but a bunch of other people bought me shots just because they hadn't seen me in a while. Bought me shots, so I probably had about 12 shots.
Okay.
But in my mind, I'm thinking I only bought 3. I'm good. And I think that people actually use that mentality. That free drinks don't affect you.
I never have. I just
What do you
count
mean,
the
like you're
drinks
good
I
to
drink.
drive? You're like you're not drunk. What are you
You're
talking
not drunk,
about?
yeah.
Oh, okay, you're not
like
counting them.
so like net shots versus
Yeah.
gross shots.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
I don't know. For the most part, I just start drinking, and then the next thing I know, I'm usually pretty hammered, and then it's downhill generally from there. So there's
We go to
usually-
a lot of gaming conventions, and a lot of times it's open bars. So when you walk out of there, do you feel like, fuck, I didn't drink shit?
That's obviously different.
I'm
But
completely sober.
don't
Let's
try to
go
keep-
drive.
I don't try to.
But
keep
officer,
count.
I didn't.
I don't try to keep count when I'm at like what asshole goes to an open bar and tries to keep count of how many drinks they had.
That douchebag who wants to impress people.
I actually like count every drink.
Really?
Yeah, I just did.
Why? That's
Whoa.
fucked up. That's
Ooh.
fucked up. I would not want to know how many
I just
drinks I have.
I just categorize like everything. I don't know. It's life. Are you going to store it in the memory bank of your brain?
But
or
why do you need to know that you're on your 9th year bomb? Why can't you just drink and just have a good time?
Maybe I just want to remember it. I don't know.
What's the point then?
He looked all wounded when he said it. Maybe I just want to remember.
Just want to remember the fun I had last night.
Okay, is it more fun to not have any idea what
Yes.
you drank the night before, or to know exactly how much you drank, or does it not matter?
Okay,
I don't think it matters either
The
way.
best scenario is to get right up to that edge but not go over.
That's
the
called
best
the brownout. The brownout. You don't fully black out. You just
Yeah.
Right. The
Brownout.
brownout. When you
That's good.
dip
I like
in
that.
for a little bit and then you come back out. That's
Yeah.
that's
You don't
want
want to fully. You don't want to fully like fall.
Miss the
over.
bad
I mean, you
times,
wanna-
you get the good times.
The
Yellow-
brownouts, The
Yellow Breast
brownouts
is the king of fucking browning out and blacking out.
The brownouts,
Well,
like, I can't
I've
remember
controlled it.
between 11 and 2, but I remember getting home, like, that type of shit, right? Is
Yeah.
that what you're talking about?
No.
Where you, like, forget hours?
No, it's just you're on such a good lean that it's fuzzy, but you didn't black out. That's what they're talking about, and that is a perfect nirvana of drunkenness. When
See,
you get
for
to the
me-
point where you're like, "Fuck, I did that." Yeah, you know, like that kind of shit.
The
I have
best is
this
when there's a
problem-
camera crew.
I have this problem where I hit this threshold where I feel like I'm going to get sick, and so I stop drinking and I'm fine, or I go, fuck it, and I have to drink through it. And at that moment, I have to drink like 3 or 4 shots in a row or something, and then I can
Then
get
you're just
power
done.
then I can get into blackout. But otherwise, I have like this built-in thing that's like, no, go smoke some pot. And then I smoke pot and throw up because you never do that when you drink.
Well, and the other thing too is, and everybody's different, but I know some people that are in the mind of they count their drinks because they're like, well, once I can only have like 4 beers, then I'm really fucked up, or whatever the case may be, whatever your number is. But for me, there's times that I have a shot or 2 and a drink, and it's just maybe I'm a little bit tired that day, or whatever the case. I'm feeling good about something, and
And
I
it rocks
feel,
your nut.
I'm like, I fucking feel like a rock star, And then there's other times that I'm just drinking like a fish, and my liver is just crying, and I don't feel nearly, the same amount of drunken stupidity, that I did on half.
No,
the
me and
amount
my
the week
liver
before
That
or
is
whatever.
so
me,
weird.
me and my liver don't talk anymore. We're not even cool with each other
No.
anymore.
I always found it amazing that sometimes I could be out drinking all night and not get drunk, and then other times I'll go out and have 2 drinks and I'll be wasted.
And you feel fucked up, right? Yeah, that's
yeah,
what I was
I'm like,
talking about.
what?
A lot
I've
of it is
never
what you.
understood
A
that.
lot of it is like it's never.
I
an
know a
idea
lot of people
to-
talk about food, like
Yeah.
before you go out, but I'm equating that in, and it doesn't make sense. There's got to be some chemical balance in your body where if it's a certain way, you can go out and get fucked up or with a couple drinks.
I think part of it has to do
Because
now
that
with,
happens. It's
just-
happened to you. You drink a lot. I've seen you go out and have like 2 shots and a drink, right? You only have 3 drinks, and you're like, there already. How?
Because I probably didn't eat before.
Other nights, you're fucking drinking a shitload, and then you eventually get there.
Maybe it's what we talked about earlier, where 70% of that feeling is expectation.
It's the atmosphere and the expectation, but what I was going to say is I think a lot of it, too, is ultimately just kind of the mood and the state of mind you're in, the people that you're around, because I don't know if anybody's ever done any, acid or any shrooms or anything like that. I about 15, 20 years ago when I was in high school, I'll admit it, I did, and people always enjoyed themselves, tripping around me just because they thought that I was a fun person to be around, for whatever reason or another, but... And I, out of the times that I did do it, all except for one time, had a great time. And the one time that I didn't, it was a down atmosphere. There was a few people I really didn't know very well, and it was just kind of a bad vibe,
That's bad news bears right there.
Yeah, and it was like, my God, I just can't wait for this to end, So,
Dude, we should do a podcast on shrooms.
Dude, I get that feeling every single time I get high, dude. I feel so paranoid.
I do know this. If I have like a shitty day, I don't go out and I don't drink. Because if you have a shitty day and then you go drink, it's not going to be a good
it just
scene.
compounds the shitty day, is what it does.
But if you
It's
want
like
to
getting kicked in the balls,
celebrate, awesome though.
Yeah,
to celebrate,
to celebrate.
awesome.
Right.
is
Well,
awesome.
because then the other thing is, if you're having a bad day and you start drinking, you start to kind of train yourself to want to go to drink when you have a bad day, which is not a good habit.
Bad conditioning.
I personally celebrate every night.
Yeah.
Every night,
For better or
every night's
worse.
a fucking celebration here. I swear
It's
to
called a
God.
ritual.
For better or worse, he's Norm from Cheers,
Yeah, exactly. The sad part is when I walk home, there's no one there to say, Sean! It's just empty crickets. No
Dude,
one
I felt a little weird putting that out there when we did that video about Addiction or Never. Like, it was nice to put it out there because it seemed like it helped the people who it needed the help, but it is weird to be like, yeah, hey, I've kind of got a fucking problem. Or used to, or whatever,
Hey, I got a problem, and I'm still dealing with it as we speak.
Guzzle, guzzle, guzzle.
It's really not beer, it's water.
So, okay, couple of topics that I thought were interesting. Unless someone else wants to pick one, I don't want to fucking direct everyone around.
I already got
Yeah,
one.
man, feel free.
Okay, so
Yeah,
one of the
exactly.
topics was new movies. I saw Pacific Rim last night. Has anyone else seen Pacific Rim yet?
No, but I did
No.
I did see Pacific Rim Job. It was a great movie. Saw it on PornTube this morning. Awesome.
Is it already out? Because I predicted on
Uh-huh.
Twitter, I was like, mark my
Honestly.
fucking words. Pacific Rim Job is going to be the porn sequel.
Two
Specific.
thumbs up the ass was
Should be
that's how
called
good it was.
Specific Rim Job.
Specific Rim Job.
No, I didn't see Pacific Rim yet myself, but I did. I talked to a couple people that saw it, and we're gonna take the kids, probably over the weekend, and I caught Grown Ups too, is what I wound up seeing. So,
it sounds weird, but people were telling me that Shaq is really funny in Grown Ups too.
He actually is. Yeah, I mean, believe it or not, you know what they did is the only problem with this one is like Sandler at this point in his career. I mean, he's married, he's got kids, he's kind of more in the PG family territory. But he basically just got every fucking person that he's ever met in his life together and was like, hey, you want to be in this movie with me? Yeah. So the problem with it is that there's funny parts, but the characters, none of them really have a chance to be on screen and shine. But Shaq is actually funnier than shit in the movie, I thought. It's just personal opinion. We had a choice between that and Pacific Rim, and I have 3 kids. My oldest, my 12-year-old, is visiting my parents in Michigan for a few weeks, so the 6-year-old picked. And he was like, he really loves Grown Ups 1. It's kind of a family movie. Some of the jokes are adult, but he's like, we got to see Grown Ups 2. So we caught it and we enjoyed it. But did anyone else catch either one? Sir, if you said you caught Pacific Rim.
Yeah, I saw that, and so I went last night with Jamie.
What is Pacific Rim about?
It's basically...
It's like Godzilla versus Transformers mixed together.
It's like Cloverfield meets Iron Man.
Okay, those are 4 completely different movies.
But it's just
monsters taking over the Earth or something, right? And we're trying to reclaim the Earth.
If you can,
giant titans to fight them, like these.
If you can take the movie for what it is, and if you can get an action movie mindset where you don't have a lot of expectations for story and character development, then it's a good movie. The action is really good. The animation is really good. I would never want to watch it at home, even if I had like a home theater, because it is like a big screen movie. It's cool
big
to
screen,
see.
Surround sound.
Right. It's all about that shit. The story is pretty poorly written. People criticize Avatar for being predictable. This is 10 times more predictable, but
sure.
It's still a fun, cool thing to check out. And basically the premise is that like instead of aliens coming out of space, they came out of this crack in the seafloor. There's like this warp to another dimension, and their whole explanation is that when dinosaurs roamed the Earth, you like my French fry? When dinosaurs roamed the Earth, they were basically scouting. This other race takes over fucking other worlds and shit. And so the dinosaurs were here to scout it out, but the atmosphere wasn't conducive. So basically, because of global warming and emissions and all this shit, we basically terraformed the planet to their liking. So they come back. And now instead of like dinosaur size, these things are fucking the size of entire cities and shit.
Like
and so
Godzilla.
we created these giant...
And you said the story wasn't well developed? That's crazy as fuck. I want to watch it now.
Sounds like better than half the shit that they throw out there nowadays.
Like,
and it's not a sequel, so it's not fucking whatever 4,
I think they could have honestly made it into a trilogy, and they could have done a better job of developing the story, because they kind of just slap a bunch of shit together. But the action is really cool. Basically, humanity gets so fucked up that all the people left on the Earth are like, fuck wars between nations, fuck all these issues we have, we need to pull all of our resources together and figure out how to defeat these things. So it's cool because you see like humanity transcend all of like the subjective bullshit that we deal with today, and they create these giant things called Jaegers, which are these huge machines. And
alright, you're giving too much away.
Yeah, right.
Spoiler.
Do they have weapons that are like bombs? They can be called Jaeger bombs or no?
They do have bombs, awesome. But yeah, that's basically it. It's a cool action flick. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna catch that one this weekend. So, did anybody else see Grown Ups? I don't know if anybody else is a fan of Adam Sandler or any of the other guys.
Well, I seen Grown Ups 1. This is the second one.
Did you enjoy the first one, Keem?
Yeah, the first one was good.
I thought it was pretty funny because Sandler, I've been watching him since, actually, when I was in high school, I used to listen to his CDs that he would do, and
Adam Sandler CDs were awesome.
It was fucking awesome, man. Lunch Ladyland.
That sound like him.
It was, Sandler was always great with the voices he was doing and everything, and then a lot of people criticized him because, he's just like a lot of the, performers, the bands like Metallica that were heavy metal back in the 80s, and then they sold out in the 90s, and then they went kind of country and all this other stuff. It's the same thing with Sandler, though.
Exactly what he did, actually.
He was hardcore. He was R-rated movies. Just a lot of potty humor type stuff, but it was funny, right? Happy Gilmore and Billy Madison and stuff. And then probably last 10 years, it's been more like Disney type stuff, family oriented.
But First Dates. And
yeah, but the guy, he's in his mid 40s now. He's got millions of dollars in the bank. He's got he's got kids that are probably.
I think the last I think the last one that he did that I could really consider like a really good Adam Sandler movie, like as far as that category, would be Big Daddy.
Big Daddy was good. Did you guys see That's My Boy? came out.
That actually wasn't awful.
That's My Boy was actually one of the better movies that he did in the
Yeah, I
real
saw
in the real like R-rated
I
genre.
fell
You know what I
asleep during that
mean?
movie.
Did you?
Hey, I love Paul Thomas Anderson, but Punch Drunk Love sucked. I don't know if you guys ever seen it.
Yeah, I did see
Not
that,
fast.
and the couple more serious ones, man. I haven't been super.
See, but like when
super
people
excited
hate on
about it.
Adam Sandler or other people for changing, it's like I think anyone who does a creative endeavor can testify to the fact that your content has to change and evolve over time because you do. I mean, Blade, Keem, would you guys say your guys' channels? I mean, Keem, I know you do a lot of different projects, but Blade, you've been doing this one thing on YouTube for a while. Would you say overall your content has changed as you have?
Yeah, of course. Like everyone has to grow up.
Your content hasn't changed at all.
Here we go.
You're still making the same.
Round one.
Listen, all right. This is not a bad thing. This is not an insult. But you are still doing the same exact thing you were doing 4 years ago. You are talking over gameplay.
Yeah, I understand that, but like
All these other
me as a
people-
person has
Yeah,
changed
man.
the last 4 years, though.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
but-
your content does not change.
Well-
That's the definition of it. The content has changed.
But here's
The
the thing.
vessel that I present it in
Then,
hasn't changed.
if you're going to say that the content has changed because you're talking about different stuff, then doesn't the content change every second?
Yeah.
Okay, well then every second your content is changing.
Always evolving.
You cannot say that.
I just did.
You were like this dude. This dude was shocked the other day, and a lot of other people were too. He is the biggest commentator. There isn't a person that talks over gameplay and that's all they do. They're a commentator fully on their channel anymore. All the bigger people that started doing that now are like making in real life videos, or they're doing these other things. They're doing
General
Let's
gaming,
Plays.
right.
They're playing Minecraft. They're doing all this different stuff, right?
Lol.
You probably have the biggest commentator channel that's left.
Right on.
But what I'm saying is like your content hasn't changed.
No, but what they're saying though is like,
Have you changed personally in the way you deliver that content? Okay, it's talking over gameplay, but the type
Exactly.
of content and the commentary that you're doing have the subjects, have some of the things
Yes.
you talk about, have they matured, changed, whatever,
That's what
for
I'm
better
saying.
or worse?
Well, let's
Yeah,
clarify
Adam
something. I
Sandler
think
still
what
making movies.
I think what Keemstar is talking about is context. The context hasn't changed. The content itself has changed, though.
Right.
Right? Those are
There
two
you
different
go.
things.
Thank you. Thank you. That killed it right there. Bam. Score for me.
Well, it's like, okay, look at point in case. Woody was to help Unexceptional Gamers. When was the last time he made a video helping anybody? I think he made a stab at it like a month ago. I was like, hey, I should make a video for people who don't know my channel, but it's like, why bother? You've got over 1 million subs. Why do you care about being the Unexceptional Gamer? That's what you started out as, but now you're known for all these other flagship series and whatever. You know? The content has evolved.
That's like saying
what-
that's like saying Adam Sandler hasn't changed because he still makes movies. That's what you're saying.
Right,
No.
right.
No.
If it ain't broke, don't
No.
fix it. Seriously. If people are still enjoying what the fuck you're putting out, what the fuck are you gonna change it for? It's
There's-
like when you need to evolve with time, but your subs and your fans and everybody's gonna let you know. When Adam Sandler isn't doing a fucking movie when he does a movie and he's making $500,000, guess what? It's time to fucking change because people aren't with you anymore.
Yep.
What I'm saying is, like, I watch the Call of Duty community, and there's trends, right? All of a sudden, people play DayZ, right? Next thing you know, a bunch of Call of Duty commentators are now playing DayZ. They follow these trends. Oh, I'm going to jump in Minecraft now. Or I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. They play different games, they try different stuffs. There's a lot of trends out there. You know what I'm saying? You have not followed any of those trends. You have
But-
still
Hey,
just
Keem.
talked over Call of Duty.
Hey,
I wish I
Keem.
could.
I'm not saying that's a bad thing.
I wish I could. I wish I could like fake it and play Minecraft and fucking cheese it
Well,
up.
let me ask you guys a question though. I mean, Blade, apparently you're not doing fucking Minecraft or anything else because it's not something that fucking interests you. You're gonna do something that you want to fucking do.
Yeah.
I know, that's what
commentary
I'm
over.
saying. It's a compliment, really. It's not an insult, but, you know.
And I'm not knocking anybody because I don't know if a person that makes a Minecraft video if they enjoy it or not. I have no idea.
Oh, get the fuck out of here.
No, I'm saying I'm sure I know there are people that play Minecraft and don't actually like it. They
You
do
got
reviews.
motherfuckers with
And
a
blatantly
million
fake it, right.
subs that hate Minecraft, but they're like, look, dude, this is what people are doing now. I'm gonna have to figure this out. What do I do? Oh, I dig? Okay. Yeah,
But if
that's
they can entertain their fans and play it, so be it. Who cares? I just can't do it. I'm too
Yes.
lazy when it comes. I can't fake me liking a game. I can't do it. But I'm not gonna knock another person if they fake it.
Seriously,
It's like-
I understand where he's coming from because you know what? I'm not gonna fake pretend like I fucking like having sex with a fat chick. I don't. But sometimes you gotta fucking take one for the team. Seriously.
Yeah, same
You know,
thing. Bad chicks, Minecraft, same thing.
Exactly. Fat chicks Minecraft. To me, it's the same thing. My son plays Minecraft. That's fine. But you know what? He's 13 years old. A different thing.
I literally just use gameplays to talk over. Like I've set the expectation on my channel that like, don't expect anything out of gameplays because it's literally whatever I'm playing and it's terrible. Like I don't even do a good job of trying to edit it because I just use it as a medium to talk over because it's better than a blank screen or my fucking fat face.
I mean, I'm like, I think I'm the only one that still cares about my gameplays because most people don't really give a shit, but I think that people care that I care. If that makes sense.
Oh, totally. People pick up on that, and especially because you're a specialty. You know, like I heard of you through other commentators. The first person I'd ever heard of was White Boy because anytime you look up anything on Call of Duty, he's one of the first people that comes up. So I learned of you through that, and when I started watching your videos, I was fucking blown away because I was like, I can't even manage a 1-to-1 with guns, and here's a guy at least going 1-to-1 in matches and way better in your gameplays that you put up. And so to me, I think in and of itself, like by default, your gameplays kind of have to be better because who wants to see like you go like fucking 1-to-3 on a Blade game? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd never put anything like that up. But like I see people put stuff like that up, and I look at it like this. I wouldn't do it, but I'm not mad at people for doing it. You know what I mean?
Right. To each his own.
Yeah.
Seriously, anyone who's man enough to wear those pink headphones, man, gets respect from me, man.
Was that the only one that got kicked out? I felt like I was the only one that got kicked out.
Yeah, you got
you're
kicked
the
out.
only one that got kicked out. It's cool.
That's fuck.
Zero shits given. Sorry, I just ate a whole fucking ton of food. I'm really hungry. I ate some White Castle.
I drink a ton of beer, so don't hate on me.
I'm hungry now, actually.
Yeah, me too.
Nice job, guy. Nice job, Surf.
Hey, what can I say?
Well, I think we're actually going to take off. Thanks for having us on the show, guys.
Hey, thanks so much for coming, guys. We
No
really
problem.
appreciate you special guesting, and yeah, thanks very much.
See you guys.
Thank you, guys. Peace.
Keemstar.
Good luck.
Peace.
Nice meeting you.
Nice to
Nice
meet you guys.
too.
All right, guys. So who's got our next topic?
I left it on for awkwardness, but it didn't happen. All right, we're going.